Are we live? I guess we are. Let me see how I can control this chat. Okay, I have it right here. What is going on, guys? Right now we're reacting to the Red Sox versus the Royals. The Royals actually just took the lead. Kyle Isbell hit a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 5th. Ooh. And on a 3-2 count, Michael Garcia just popped out to Jaron Duran. Bear with me for a second, guys. This is my first stream. We're going to be doing this as close to daily as possible. We're going to react to Red Sox games and Yankee games. Let's see if we get a bit of a competition going on between the two communities. We need to liven up this freaking rivalry. Bobby Witt. Ground out to third. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe. Should I have the lights on or off? Right now it's commercials. I'm actually surprised that this game is competitive at all the way we've been playing. I saw Salvi out at first base. It's nice to see him still playing and taking the field, not just DH nowadays. Welcome to the chat. See, we got another new viewer. If you don't mind liking, subscribing, we're going to go ahead and do Red Sox and Yankee games daily, or as close to daily as we can get. I also for sure upload daily, so make sure you catch those. Let me know also in the chat, should I keep the lights on or off? I can also turn on the little streaming light that I have here so you can see me a little clearly. The Yankee game, I believe, actually got postponed. Let me check that. So top 6. Oh, our old friend Michael Walker is actually pitching. Today you can consider it kind of like a test stream. We're going to get a little better. I'm probably going to end up doing graphics at some point as well. The Yanks are actually warming up right now, so it looks like they are going to play today. I didn't expect that. Oh, that was close. Wilson Contreras ends up grounding out to the shortstop. Man, you know, looking at Michael Wacha, he's definitely a guy who Boston should have re-signed. I mean, we're not really regretting it nowadays because our starting rotation is probably the only good thing about our roster, but definitely would have been a good good keep. I wouldn't have been mad at that. Cedane Rafaela up to hit now. Ball inside. Fastball, 95 miles an hour. Again, to any new viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and do Red Sox and Yankee live streams as close to daily as possible. Top 6. Cedane just fouled off a fastball. 1-1 count. Royals up 3-2. Bro, what a trip. You know what? I'm not even going to complain too much, but what a AAA lineup we have here. Let's go. 1 out double. Cedane Rafaela. The baseball actually just hit him in the head. Holy shit. That's right. Tying man out in second base. Or should I say tying run? Eighth double of the year for Cedane Rafaela. He's a guy who I for sure didn't believe in at first, but he's grown on me. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe for daily Red Sox and Yankee game coverage. I also drop daily videos, reactions, WWE content, body cam footage, and overall anything that keeps your interest. Right now, Boston has a man on second. Cedane just hit a double. Michael Walker's on the mound for the Royals. They're winning 3-2 in the top of the 6th inning. Oh, buddy. Mr. Quadruple A himself almost hit a 2-run bomb. Nick Sogard. Again, this is going to be something that we get a lot better at as time moves on. Also, guys, 1 for 1 today with a single and a walk and an RBI. All right. Not bad. Ball outside, 1-2. Man on second, 1 out for the Boston Red Sox, baby. Strike 3, and that is why I called him Mr. Quadruple A. Bro, what are you swinging at? 100 pitches in. That should not be that deceiving. Marcelo Myers up to hit with the man on second. Hopefully he can hit the game-tying shot. I'm really optimistic on Marcelo Myers. Oh. Little rinky-dink changeup. 225 on the season, 2 homers, 9 RBIs for Marcelo. 1 for 1 today with a walk and a single, though. All right, I'll take it. Man, that one like ran in on his hands. I really want Meyer to come through. I need him to get on a hot streak so that we can finally realize that Trevor Story just isn't it for Boston. Toma. Fouled off. Fastball up and away. Marcelo Meyer, the lefty. No balls, 2 strikes. Top of the 6th, man on second for Boston, 3-2. Walker's at a 103 pitches. Ball one. You knew that was coming. Sedane's over here trying to deke him at second base. Like, bro. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me see if I can turn on this light. Maybe you guys will like that a little better. I'm going to go ahead and turn on this light real quick. Is it better with the light like this, or should I do it with the light on? It's really whatever's better for your viewing. We didn't end up doing anything. Top of the sixth, Dane hit a double for us. And we got nothing, of course. You know, that's one of the things, actually, my pops brings up all the time. Boston, with a couple of power hitters, we can be a pretty good team, but of course, we don't want to spend. Again, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe. We go ahead and we do Red Sox and Yankee streams daily. Videos are dropped daily as well. Man, Boston needs to do something quick. The Yankees, I thought they were going to end up postponing their game, but they ended up... They're actually warming up right now. So it looks like they're going to go through with that. So stay tuned, because later on we're probably going to end up covering that game as well. At some point we're going to do the dual screen as well, and I'm going to get the graphics for you guys. This is kind of like a test stream tonight. Man, I really want to know, what do you guys, if you're a Red Sox fan, of course, what do you think of Marcelo Meyer? You know, he's not spoken about as much as Roman Anthony, even Ceddanne Rafaela, Wilyer Abreu. It seems like the dude was hyped up for a year or two. He got hurt, and all the hype was gone. He's definitely a guy who I think is going to be a part of our next championship core. If we win a championship anytime soon. Also, let me know if I'm just too loud. Again, these are the little kinks we're going to end up working out. We're back over here in the bottom of the sixth. Connolly early still on the mound, which I'm not mad at. If you're a Red Sox fan, let me know. Connolly early actually reminds me of John Lester. As a smooth lefty, the demeanor's the same the entire time. The man's extremely consistent so far in his career. Obviously, I feel like he's going to continue to have a great year this year. And then next year is going to be the true test as to whether he's here to stay. We all know about the famous sophomore slump. Oh! Salvi into the shift, hits a ground ball up the middle. Ball bounces off of Marcelo Meyer's glove. So he's safe at first. If you play MLB The Show, you know he's like a 2-speed, so that was a mean bobble. Don't forget, we're going to go ahead and stream the Yankees game later on as well. If you're a Yankee fans, we're definitely going to have something for you later on. Collins up to hit for the Kansas City Royals with a man on first, no outs. Bottom sixth. First pitch was called a ball. Narvaez is actually challenging. And it is a strike. Call overturned. Successful challenge by Wilson Contreras. Guys, after this stream, please make sure you check out my recent upload. I actually just dropped right before going live. Pop out to left field. Duran under it. 1 away for Boston. Excuse me, I said Contreras. What the heck? I meant Carlos Narvaez. The reason why I mixed it up is because in MLB The Show, I like to take him and switch him back to the catcher position so I can use a better power hitter at first base. So we have a man at first base, Nick Lofton hitting, 1 out for the Kansas City Royals in the bottom of the 6th inning. KC's actually up 3-2. Nick Lofton, who's hitting 231 on the year, no homers, 13 RBIs, is 0 for 2 today. So let's hope he can ground into a nice double play to get us out of this. And for those new viewers, please make sure you like up. We cover Red Sox and Yankees game daily, or as close to daily as possible. Dude, Nick Lofton looks like Eric Hosmer. Guys, let me know if I'm a little too loud for you. Strikeout. Connolly Early has 2 outs now on the inning. Man on first, bottom of the 6th, with Caglione coming up to hit. Jack Caglione. Let me know if I even pronounced that right. Connolly Early gets set up. Fastball, bottom in on the lefty. Against man on first, 2 outs for Kansas City. They're up 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Man, if I'm Tracy, I'm definitely putting somebody up in the bullpen. Connolly Early, he's like dragging his arm before every pitch. You can literally see it just dangling every time. I'm not saying he's uber tired, but definitely time to start warming somebody up. Caglione, he's hitting 250 on the year, 5 homers, 10 RBIs. He's 1 for 2 on the day. That's a nice little trick pitch. Slider outside, he took for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Don't forget we cover the Red Sox and Yankees daily. Let's go ahead and get this rivalry started. Let's spark it back up. Let's be the reason why we're arguing every day about our favorite teams. Oh, man. Looper. Right over the left field line. Salvi heads over to second base. Caglione on first. Now, man on first and second with 2 outs. That was literally put on the perfect spot. It's insane. Like, yeah, it was a decent pitch. Nothing you can do about it. Connolly Early just, sometimes you hit them, sometimes you don't. Andrew Bailey out for some discussions. I'm telling you, warm somebody up. Starling Marte isn't the Starling Marte of 2015, but he can still hit 1 or 2 whenever he's needed. Salvi likes playing baseball, but he has a running thing going here. No matter which spot Diaz is on the bases, they have a very good time with each other. But Salvi has fun with everybody. Captain Salvador Perez on second base. Jack Caglione's on first. Starling Marte, designated hitter, who's hitting 286 on the year, actually. Not bad. No homers, but he's hitting 286. He's making contact. He's up to hit. Both men on base. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Let's see if Connolly can get out of this. Ball 1. And they're finally putting somebody up in the pen. Oh, but it's Greg freaking Weiser. Like, bro. He's somebody who needs to be replaced. Ooh, beautiful fastball on the bottom outside zone of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike on Starling Marte. Early's at 86 pitches. Not bad. If he can get out of this, he can maybe go 1 more inning. But again, he was just dragging his arm before every pitch. I don't know if he has it in him to go 100 tonight. I mean, the weather's getting. I don't know what the temperature is over in Kansas City, but with warmer weather comes, longer outings, right? Ooh, strike right by him, 2-2. Come on, one more. This is literally the curse of our year. Low scoring games. Starlin Marte grounds out to the shortstop. We get the out at second base. And Connolly gets out of 6 innings. 3 runs. That's, again, consistent. John Lester, when he first came up, what was he giving us? Consistent innings. He wasn't the guy who was going to give you a 2.8 ERA up until, realistically, he signed with the Cubs. When he signed with Chicago was when he had his first 2 ERA season. Before then with Boston, he was just a very consistent innings eater. Realistically, he was a level 2 starter. That was John Lester. And that's what I think Connolly early can become and develop into. He's showing a lot of signs of being an early career John Lester. 3-2 sixth inning. Do you really think that they'll take Connolly out? I mean, 87 innings, 87 pitches. That's not terrible. Again, warmer weather, stretch these guys out. His arm can take it. His arm can take the innings. We just need somebody to clutch up. Again, 3-2. We're going into the top of the 7th inning. Sedane's a clutch hitter. Williams Contreras a clutch hitter. I think at this point, it's literally a matter of getting a power hitter in there. Roman Anthony's not the guy, all right? Let him develop at his own pace. I don't even think at his peak, he's going to be the power guy that people were saying he was going to turn into. Will Middlebrooks. I still can't believe the evolution of Will Middlebrooks. I remember being, was it 12 years old, 13 years old when he first got called up in 2012 he got called up. He went on this mean hot streak, third baseman of the future. Then in Cleveland one day, Will Middlebrooks ended up getting hit on the wrist. I remember that, clear as day. And he was never the same after that, unfortunately. Youkilis, he was supposed to be the guy to take the reins from Kevin Youkilis, and unfortunately he just wasn't able to do that because of the injury. But yes, it's amazing to see his peak because the man has turned it completely around. He went from being interviewed by his future wife who worked at Nesson, which was Jenny Dell, to working at Nesson as a color commentator or broadcaster. No balls, 1 strike to Carlos Narvaez, who's 0 for 2 today. Top of the 7th inning. Ball 1. Fernando Cruz up on the mound for Kansas City Royals. Again, it's 3-2 in the top of the 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike. No outs for 75. Nice line drive into left field. Single for Carlos Narvaez. So you can only hope that he continues to get hotter and hotter. You kind of want to see. I mean, I'm rooting for Narvaez, whether I'm a Red Sox fan or not. You have to root for a guy like Carlos Narvaez because these prospects that aren't hyped up, to me, they're like great underdog stories. Make sure you like, subscribe. We have daily Red Sox and Yankee coverage here. Twins versus Red Sox. I guess that's their next game there. We have tomorrow off. Mickey Gasper up to hit with a man on first base. Gasper's actually hitting 355 in 9 games. No homers, 2 RBIs, 794 OPS. Another quadruple A player, though. Don't get too hopeful about him. Let's be realistic, guys. Man, literally right on the corner for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mickey Gasper. 3-2 Kansas City in the top of the 7th. While I was speaking, another pitch was made. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Man, the Royals have a guy, Daniel Lynch the 4th. It's rare you see a guy the 4th in 2026. Incredible. Man, Gasper kind of takes like a Masataka Yoshida type of stance with his legs. His base looks really sturdy. 2-2, ball outside, top of the 7th. 3-2 Kansas City. No outs. Carlos Narvaez on first base after hitting a line drive single over to left field. Another foul ball. Bare minimum, he's putting up a decent at-bat, you know? Guys, let me know if the audio's a little too loud. Ball 3, 3-2. Yeah, maybe this guy is legit. He's one of those, you know, late bloomers. Marcelo's looking on. Roman's looking on. Full count. The pitch, another foul ball. Man, these are the worst at-bats here. As a pitcher, you get frustrated because each and every pitch, you feel like you should have gotten. Man, Chad Tracy looks so much like Craig Breslow. It's not even funny. Connolly's he's waiting out in the visitors' dugout, so it looks like he is coming out for the 7th inning. Oh, 3-2. He swung at a high pitch outside of the zone. Mickey Gasper strikes out. It's probably the freaking mustache. That thing is disgusting, dude. Cut it off. But Mickey Gasper ends up striking out. 1 out now in the bottom of the 7th. Do I keep saying bottom of the 7th or top of the 7th? Anyways, top 7, man on first base. 1 ball, no strikes. Jarren Duran up at bat. Duran's 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts and a pop-out. Man, he's hitting 186. That's disgusting, dude. Even if we wanted to trade him, could we? He swings at a pretty filthy curveball. It ends up going past the catcher. Narvaez goes up to second base. So now we have a man on second. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. In the top of the 7th. Kansas City up 3-2. Ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Speaking of Yoshida, he's on deck, and he's 1 for 3 today. Man, I know the young initiative that we have, but Masa needs to be in that lineup every single day. Fastball high and outside. 3 balls, 1 strike to Jarren Duran. That's a man, even though you have a slower Narvaez in front of him, You don't want Jaren Duran on base, especially late in the game. All right, Duran, fly ball out to left field, and Boston takes the lead, 4-3. 2-run bomb, Jaren Duran, baby. Man, listen, this dude's hitting 186, but he's showing some pop. Opposite field, that's not easy to do. That's not easy to do, folks. 2-run shot. Jaren Duran, Green Monster mascot, goes on his head. He's on his way to celebrate in the dugout. And Boston take the lead in the top of the 7th, 4-3. Looks like it was a fastball outside. See, that's what happens as a pitcher when you continue to repeat the same sequences. You had just finished throwing him a fastball outside, and you proceed to throw another fastball there. Masataka Yoshida ends up grounding out to first base. 2 outs, but it doesn't matter. Jaren Duran just hits a 2-run shot to give Boston the lead in the 7th inning. Man, those training sessions in the gym are working out. So again, I think that's 2 home runs on the series. It's cold Jaren Duran. That's right. We need people to step up like this. So I guess they're gonna bring on a lefty for Wilyer Abreu. He hasn't been the hottest hitter in the world, but he's somebody who you don't want to be the reason for him getting hot again. We all know what happens. We saw in the WBC. We saw to start the season what happens when Wilyer Abreu gets hot. I love how every generation, it seems like there's always a dude with a certain type of last name to like pop out for people. So for example, 20 years ago, it was 20 years ago, it was Bobby Abreu, right? 20 years later, we have Wilyer Abreu playing the same old great defense. Not the best hitter against lefties, but hey, he crushes righties. They can't all be Miguel Cabrera. They can't all be Albert Pujols, right? Whoa. Garrett Crochet signs a long-term deal and he starts getting into Samuel Adams commercials. It's always nice to see that. Man, I mean, of course, you're not going to see them ingratiate themselves into the community on a 1-year deal. But it's nice to see him getting involved into the community for sure. So we're back. Top of the 7th. 2 outs, but Boston just took the lead. Jaren Duran hits a 2-run shot with Narvaez on second base. So it's 4-3 Boston Red Sox in the top of the 7th. 2 out. Wilyer Abreu's about to hit. The Kansas City Royals actually brought along Daniel Lynch the 4th. Again, how often do you see the 4th in 2026? Excuse me. Make sure you like, subscribe, conversate with me. I'm open and able. I'm actually interested to see if we're gonna get more Red Sox followers or Yankees followers. Again, we do daily Red Sox and Yankee coverage. Boston 19-8 record when scoring 3+ runs. 2-19 in other games. Nice. See, just like Bobby Abreu, Wilyer will flip those singles over lefty on lefty. So Wilyer with a single. Boston has a man on first base. 2 outs, top 7, 4-3. Boston Red Sox. You got the teammates in Salvi Perez and Wilyer Abreu chopping it over. They were teammates over in, what was it? Venezuela? For the WBC. Wilson Contreras takes the ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, Wilyer Abreu just flipped a little bloop single over to left field. So man on first base, man, he takes almost an Adrian Beltre-esque swing. Man ended up on one knee. Yeah, the innings lasted long enough to where Connolly might not be coming out again. Contreras swings and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Daniel Lynch, lefty specialist, up for Kansas City. We got a pickoff attempt over at first. Wilyer can run. People kind of forget about it. You know what I mean? He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he'll give you 15 to 20 bags stolen on the year in the blink of an eye. Foul ball. Looked like a cutter, down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Wilson Contreras. Top 7, 4-3. Yeah, that's back-to-back games now. Jarren Duran's homered. Coming into the 7th, Boston was losing 3-2. Duran with an out hit a 2-run bomb over to left field. Ooh, that one almost clipped him. Ball down and in, 84 miles an hour. It looks like that was a changeup, probably a circle change. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. Abreu will be off. Cedar Rafael is actually on deck, and he is Mr. Clutch for Boston. So let's hope Contreras can get on. Dylan Lynch gets ready. Contreras loading up. Pitch coming in. Foul ball. Man, there are a lot of foul balls by Boston today, so they're definitely seeing those pitches. 100% seeing those pitches today. So Lynch, who just came in, he's 10 pitches in, full count. Man on first base, 2 outs. He couldn't get the out against Wilyer Abreu. He flipped a single over to left field. Line drive up the middle. Second baseman grabs the ball, throws to first, but not in time. Wilson Contreras legs out a single. So that's going to be men on first and second for Boston. 2 outs, and that's after Jarren Duran hits a 2-run bomb. 4-3 in the top of the 7th, man. This is slowly unraveling for Kansas City. Let's hope it unravels some more. You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's keep playing with this lighting here. Let's see how this looks now.
So it's Abreu at second, Contreras at first. Quickly on 2. Another off-speed pitch. Sox now at 10 hits. Two-strike pitch from Lynch.
Do you guys like this lighting a lot better? Again, let me know. We'll keep playing with it as we go. But in the time being, here's what we got. I can also keep it just the lights. So Sedane takes a ball. 2-2. 2 outs. 2 men on. Deuces everywhere, as they say. Again, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe. We do daily drops. And we're going to go ahead and stream the Red Sox and Yankees as much as we can, daily.
From the lefty. Ground ball at third. Garcia down second. Top of the 7th. Jarren Duran knocks around the ballpark to the opposite field. The Red Sox are in front.
All right, so Sedane gets out. So we're going to the bottom of the 7th now. Boston did take the lead. 2-run shot, Jahji Duran. So again, you guys let me know what you think of Jahji Duran's season so far. After the homer, he's hitting like a $180, a $190, but he is hitting for some pop, especially the last couple games. That's back-to-back games with home runs for Jahji Duran. So hopefully this could be the start of a hot streak. Lord knows we need some type of power. I actually think that's the one thing we're missing. We have the young guys. We have the speed. Contreras and Sedane, I think, are those clutch hitters that come through when you need them. But again, we need power bats. We need that guy who, with one swing of the bat, can change the course of a game. We don't have that. And it seems like Boston doesn't want to spend the cash for him. Let's hope that with this upcoming trade deadline, we can finally pull the trigger on somebody who's worthwhile. You know, I've been hearing about Yordan Alvarez. Imagine we trade Jahji Duran and a few prospects and we flip them for Yordan Alvarez. That's Ortiz 2.0. Forget about Devers. Devers who? You know? And by the way, I also think that Alvarez isn't going to be the only thing that we need. We're also going to need another bat to pair with him. So I'd say the trade deadline, we're looking for 2 power bats. And we're also looking for some relief, some bullpen arms. Greg Weisser isn't going to cut it, man. So Connolly Early is going to be coming back out. He's at 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Why not? Stretch him out. It's 90 degrees where I'm at. So I'm pretty sure wherever Kansas City is decent weather. So Nick Sogard goes out to short. Caleb Durbin comes in at third base. Late defensive replacements. Again, guys, make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be streaming the Yankees game after this. At some point, I'm going to find a way to stream them both together. Actually, you know what? Screw that. This is the test room. Oh! I was just talking about his great defense and Willier drops the ball. A little Ricky Dink pop-up. He must have lost it in the lights. We're going to blame it on he lost it on the lights here. So Kansas City has a man on first base after Willier Abreu drops the baseball. That is insane. Boston's up 4-3. But Willier with the crucial error. Let's see if we can throw the Yankees game on at the same time. See, the Yankees are at bottom 2. Okay. Now let's see if we can add this Boston game. No, it doesn't allow me to do that. That is ridiculous. But whatever, we'll stick with the Boston game. This is the game that I said that I was gonna be watching, so we'll go ahead and tune into that. I'll figure out a way to get the dual stream to at least, you know, have both the Red Sox and Yankee games on at the same time. Once again, this is a little something called Revive the Rivalry. So Greg Weisert's actually coming in before I continue in the bottom of the 7th after Abreu's crucial error because we just took the lead. Connolly early is getting the short leash. He pitched great. 6 innings, 3 runs. Not bad. I think he had 5 Ks, 1 walk. So as I was saying before, I'm gonna find a way to not only get the graphics on the actual screen for you guys to pay attention with me, but also a way to stream to do like a dual view of the Yankees and Red Sox. So this is Revive the Rivalry. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I drop videos daily. Red Sox content, Yankee content, WWE content, music content. I know people love body cams. I'm doing that as well. Man, this is another thing that Boston has been struggling with. The issue with them is that not only do we struggle with taking leads, but at the same time, when we get those leads, we seem to have trouble keeping them. We have a great back of the end rotation. We need those middle relief guys. Greg Weisser, I know he's been pitching well, but Tyler Samaniego, these guys are quadruple A pitchers. Jaron Duran proven to play a key cog in this game. Great catch out in left field early on. And then he hits the go-ahead 2-run shot in the top of the 7th. So Maikel Garcia comes on. 1 out, man on first. Greg Weisser pitching, who has a 4.86 ERA in 19 games, 16 2/3 innings pitched. 92-mile-an-hour, looks like sinker. For a strike, Maikel Garcia, 0 for 3 today. Remember, he is a pretty good contact bat. This guy is the real deal, so he's nothing to play with. Another strike, 87 miles an hour this time. Looked like a bit of a cutter for Weisser. So Maikel's down fast. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, man on first. Bobby Witt is on at first, so ideally you would like to get this out or a double play. Loading up. I love when guys rep their teams. Weisser with his red glove looks beautiful. Oh, that was a nasty little curve, but you knew that was going to be a ball. Giovanni Moran also warming up in the bullpen. See, these are names where it's like they don't invoke any type of fear. You know, they're not the Aroldis Chapmans. They're not, heck, even the Swansons of the MLB universe. These aren't guys who invoke any type of fear in your heart when you hear them being called from the bullpen. Maikel Garcia down 2-2. Man on first base, 1 out. Remember, Boston's up 4-3 right now in the bottom of the 7th after Duran's 2-run shot. And a pickoff at first, but nothing going for Greg Weisser on the mound. It said Garcia's 0 for 2 in his career against Greg Weisser. Ooh. Sinker down in the zone. Willier actually grabs it this time. 2 outs for Bobby Witt Jr. So you would have liked to get that double play, but at least Witt comes on with 1 man on and not 2 men on. So yeah, Bobby Witt coming up, 2 outs, man on first, bottom of the 7th. 4-3 Boston. Witt's hitting .301 on the year, 7 homers, 23 RBIs. He already has a double today. Strike right on the outside corner. Ah, Bobby Witt Jr. has 0 for 2 as well. Swung right through it. Man, what's up with all these handlebar mustaches now? I get it was a trend a couple years ago, but people are still doing it today. Bobby Witt with his weird corn mustache. Weiser 0-2. Strike 3. He struck Bobby Witt out with a fastball right down the middle to end the 7th inning. So we're heading into the top of the 8th, 4-3. Boston still has the lead after Connolly let go. Well, Connolly didn't let anything go. After Wilyer Abreu made the crucial error to start the 7th inning. But they get out of that. So Connolly pitched 6 innings today. 3 runs. That's another solid outing by Connolly early. Again, he's giving me early career John Lester. The kid is consistent and he's consistently good. I'm not going to say he's consistently great yet, but again, he's less than a year into his major league career. Let's go ahead and check on the Yankees game while we're here. So it's still 0-0 in the Yankee Blue Jays game. 2 outs, no balls, 2 strikes. George Springer hitting for Cam Schlittler. This is actually... Damn, I wish we could have watched the dual screen. But like I said, I'll go ahead and as we get deeper into... As we get deeper into these streams, we'll go ahead and start figuring out a way to do a dual stream. Beautiful baseball. God is great. Again, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Yankees are actually 0-0 in the 2nd inning. Is this latency? Like, is this like messing with you guys? Let's see if I can actually hit the settings over here. And see if maybe it'll work that way. You know what? I think this is probably something I should end up messing with later on off stream. In the meantime, we have Nick Solgaard up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, top of the 8th inning. Boston's up 4-3, and he grounds over to the shortstop. Easy out with Salvi. 1 down for the Boston Red Sox in the top of the 8th inning. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. We do daily Yankees and Red Sox streams. We also cover body cams, music posts. Meyer drives the ball out to left field, but Isbell's right under it for 2 outs. So there's 2 outs in the top of the 8th for Boston. They're still up 4-3. Lynch the 4th is actually surprisingly still pitching for Kansas City. against the right-handed hitters. They're over here covering the National League, excuse me, the Negro League National Museum. I should probably go visit that. Satchel Paige being shown there. So Carlos Narvaez is up to hit now. He takes like a looping curveball on the outer half of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike in the top of the 8th to Carlos Narvaez. Boston's up 4-3 against Kansas City Royals. Man, fastball right down at the knees. Narvaez hitting .221 on the year, 2 homers, 3 RBIs. He does have a single in the 7th, but let's hope at some point his bat starts heating up. We all saw what he could do last year. You would hate for him to go through an official sophomore slump. He didn't go. Narvaez check swings, doesn't go. 2 balls, 2 strikes, top of the 8th. Boston's up 4-3. And he didn't break the plate upon replay. Foul ball, still 2 balls, 2 strikes. So it's rare that you see a lefty specialist like Daniel Lynch IV pitching an entire inning against all right-handed hitters in a game where you're losing. He swings at that ball, fouls it off. So yeah, again, Boston, they need all the power they can get. And Narvaez, when he's hot, he's a decent bat. 15 homers from a catcher, and that was his rookie year. Is pretty decent. Narvaez, if he can clutch up and build enough power, he can definitely be a hitter. 20 home runs, 25 RBI. 20 home runs, 25 home runs around there. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Carlos Narvaez. 2 outs for Boston in the top of the 8th. And he walks. So he gets on base again. That has to be good for the on-base percentage. Man, it feels like it was just last inning Narvaez was on base. So Boston has a man on first base.
To face Durbin, so we take the break in Kansas City. Red Sox with a base runner, 2 down.
And it looks like now Kansas City is going to go ahead and switch the pitcher. Again, he got the job done, but you don't want to even risk getting into trouble like this. Obviously, we want Boston to score as many runs as possible, but on behalf of Kansas City's coaching, you just don't put a lefty specialist up against 3 right-handed hitters. One of them's bound to get on base. And then we all know it's baseball. Anything can happen after that. So Boston's still up 4-3 in the top of the 8th. They do have a man on first base with 2 outs. Make sure you stay tuned after this. I may go ahead and stream the Yankees game live. At some point, we'll figure out how to do the graphics for you guys so you can follow along live. And we'll even do the dual stream, Red Sox and Yankees. This is what we call Revive the Rivalry. We're going to go ahead and do coverage of the Red Sox and the Yankees daily. Starting with Boston.
Proud to be a part of Red Sox Nation and all the communities we call home. Delivering trusted care, everyday essentials, and support that goes beyond.
Come on, we need some insurance here. We scored the run. We went ahead. Now we just need the insurance because our bullpen is... So Alex Lang is up. He has a 5.40 ERA in 19 games, 21 2/3 innings pitched. And he's walked 13 guys, so he definitely has some walk issues here. He's coming up against the 169 hitting Caleb Durbin. again, Durbin's another guy who you only hope he can get hot. See, all right. I know we've had the discussions we had earlier in this broadcast, but looking at their lineup 1 through 9, it's putrid. We don't have power no matter how you write it. However, Caleb Durbin grounds out to third, forced out at second. End of the inning, we're heading to the bottom of the 8th. Boston's still up 4-3. So, Caleb Durbin, Jarren Duran, Boston has a lot of guys who just aren't performing. So, as soon as they start even going back to their average, I feel like just things are going to start looking up for Boston. A guy like Caleb Durbin shouldn't be hitting 180 the whole year. A guy like Jarren Duran, while he was never a 300 hitter, he's not going to hit 190 the entire year. Wilson's putting in his just due. Ceddanne Rafaela's on and off. I would hope Ceddanne Rafaela can continue on his growth with the bat and start getting a little more hits. You know, I know he's an elite center fielder, so just getting 250 from him is everything. However, if he can start hitting 275 in his prime, 285, Ceddanne's going to be a steal at $8.5 million a year. I think that's what he's getting paid for the next 3 or 4 seasons.
This is where athletes run, where competition meets opportunity, critical things, and connection are formed. Where sport and style will make you work, explore every space. This is the style and rebound. From training, tournaments, corporate gatherings, and special events. From track and rebound is ready to really fun.
Let's go ahead and check on the Yankees while we're here. So it's the top of the 4th in New York. 0-0 in the game with the Yankees against the Blue Jays. Vladdy Guerrero's actually up to hit with no outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cam Schlittler on the mound. It's looking like that's going to be a good game. Let's check over here who's pitching for Toronto. That's Trey Savage, no wonder. He's 3 innings pitched so far. 3 strikeouts. He has a 1.21 ERA this year. Trey, I don't know what was in the water in the early 2000s, but a lot of these young guys that are coming up, pitchers specifically, as Salvi Perez grounds a leadoff single, the opposite field. So a man on first, no outs. Greg Weisert's still on the mound. It's going to be a rookie mistake by Chad Tracy if he leaves Greg Weissert in past. It was a mistake leaving him to start off this inning anyways. So Kyle Massey's going to come into pitch run for the very, very slow Salvi Perez. If you play MLB The Show, you would know Salvi Perez is like a 5 speed, and that's, you know, being lucky. So again, Massey's up to run for Salvi Perez. Man on first base for Kansas City, no outs. The not so good Greg Weisert's pitching. Boston's up 4-3. So a very slim lead. And a 93-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside to the lefty. So going back to it, I don't know what was in the water for these early 2000s, these people born in the early 2000s, but man, Connolly Early, Peyton Tolley, Cam Schlittler, there's a Trey Savage, there's a plethora of young guys who are coming up and they're just dominating from day one. Now, I don't know if it's the training regimens, what it is, but it's a beautiful thing to see. I was a college pitcher, left-handed pitcher, so you know I'm always going to be a little biased to the pitchers. As Collins pops up to Ceddanne Rafaela in center field. 1 out. Man on first base for KC. They're down 4-3. Greg Weisert's 13 pitches in. And it looks like Chad Tracy's going to keep him in. I don't know why. Quite frankly, I don't have any faith in Greg Weisser, but it is what it is. Every time I see the last name Lofton, I immediately want to say Kenny. But Lofton's up to hit for Kansas City. He's 0 for 3 today. Weisser starts off with another strike. Maybe he can turn it around and right the boat here. He hasn't looked the worst today. No balls, 1 strike, 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It looked like it cut in, actually. So it's 1 ball, 1 strike now on Nick Lofton, who's hitting .226, no homers, 13 RBIs. Yeah, so if Boston wins today, they move within 5 games of 500. That's nothing to write home about, but it's a start, I guess. We're definitely not going to pull off a Philadelphia Philly comeback and start playing well just because we switched our managers. Chad Tracy, wow, it seems like he's a decent baseball mind. He's no Don Mattingly. Ball inside. You know what? I should have never said anything. As soon as I spoke, Weisser goes down 3 balls, 1 strike on Lofton, who's 0 for 3 today. But there's a man on first, 1 out, and Boston only has a 1-run lead. Strike, he comes back. All right, full count, 1 out. Let's get the double play. Let's do it. Let's see if we can do it here. Weisser giving me shades of World Baseball Classic, Team Italy. All right, ground ball. We're getting a little bit closer. Literally, he's thrown Lofton 6 pitches. 5 of them have been sinkers. The 4th pitch was a slider. So, I mean, I don't think he's going with another sinker here. And he does. 93-mile-an-hour sinker on the inside half of the plate. So the count is still full to the Eric Hosmer lookalike. You do want to get this out here. You don't want to risk bringing 2 men on with Jack Caglione coming on. Lazy pop-up. I thought to the center fielder, but that was to second base. Marcelo Myers under it. 2 outs for Jackie, baby. And Chad Tracy comes in to take him out. Bro, one of the worst types of pitching changes to me, well, back in the day, it was whenever you would come in, the manager would bring a lefty specialist to pitch for 1 guy, and they'll take him in. So I'm glad that they switched that rule. But I hate when a manager comes out with 2 outs and they switch the relief pitcher. If you're not in any type of trouble, what is the point of wasting this time and wasting an arm? Whoever, 9 times out of 10, whoever you were going to put with those 2 outs can come in and start the next inning. And if anything, that brings longevity to your bullpen. But this whole bringing a relief pitcher 2 outs, you're not in trouble at all. It's just a big waste of time. Anyways, bottom of the 8th, man on first. 2 outs now for Kansas City. Boston's still up 4-3 after the Jarren Duran go-ahead 2-run shot. Duran's been finding some power lately. That's back-to-back games for him with a home run. Let's go ahead while we're in the intermission and check on the Yankees game. So the game's currently 0-0, heading to the bottom of the 9th between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. And that's going to be most likely that's going to be a low-scoring game. Cam Schlittler and Trey Savage, those are 2 young guys that are no joke. Those 2 guys very easily can throw a shutout. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Schlittler and Savage are both competing. Well, they're neck and neck for their early season Cy Young. Obviously, we're only in May, and we're not even halfway through. And we're not even fully through May. But Giovanni Moran coming in 15 games, 2 starts, 25 innings pitched. He has a 2.84 ERA, which isn't bad. A 1.14 WHIP. Again, not bad at all. So Jack Caglione, the 255 hitter, 5 homers, 10 RBIs, was 2 for 3 today with 2 singles up to hit. Man on first base, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. And Moran starts him up with a slider outside. 1 balls, no strikes. If Boston gets through this, I think it's in the bag. Fastball. Excuse me, changeup, 86 miles an hour. He swung right through it. 1 ball, 1 strike. If Boston gets through this, I feel like it's going to be an easy dub for Boston because Aroldis is lights out. Ever since he signed with Boston, I'm not sure what it's been, what's in the water over here, but the dude's been unstoppable. All right, so 1 ball, 2 strikes. Giovanni Moran needs 1 more pitch to get out of this. Man on first base for Kansas City. Boston's up 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th. And he strikes him out, baby. Here's the duck. This is for the duck for the duck vote. There we go. Giovanni Moran comes in for 1 out of relief. And he strikes Jack Caglione out. So we're heading to the top of the 9th inning now. Boston's up 4-3. We need some insurance here. Duran did well with giving us the 2-run shot, but again, we need insurance here. Actually, I lied. This game isn't in the bag. Oddly enough, this is the exact type of game where Aroldis is going to come on and you think he's going to shut things down, and he just gives up a home run out of nowhere. So, let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and check on the Yankees game one more time here. So the Yankees in the bottom of the 4th are tied 0-0 with the Blue Jays. Trey Savage is pitching to Aaron Judge at the moment. Nobody on. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So, again, that's going to be a great pitching matchup. Cam Schlittler's pitching over in New York for them. And then you have Trey Savage pitching for Toronto. Big ups to Toronto. I know Drake just dropped his Iceman album. I actually listened to it. It was pretty good. Sorry to all my Kendrick fans. Let me know in the comments if you're a Drake or you're a Kendrick fan. That feud was almost so big at one point that even people who don't listen to hip hop were commenting on whose side they were on. So definitely let me know. Dirty Water Television. They just showed Roman Anthony on here, and I know he just had a few setbacks with his injury, but let's hope we can get him back in the lineup soon. If you have Caleb Durbin, you have Jarren Duran, a healthy Roman Anthony, those 3 guys just hitting 250, which they weren't doing pre-injury or cold streak. That's going to be huge for the Boston lineup. Now, of course, we do need a power bat regardless. Let's not forget about that. So Jarren Duran takes a strike right down the middle by Alex Lang. No balls, 1 strike to start the 9th inning. Can he add to his hot night? 90 mile an hour. It looked like almost a changeup. Down in the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. As Michael Massey comes into second base. And Nick Lofton actually moves over to first base. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball inside for Jarren. Man, and this is how you know he's starting to get hot now. He's laying off of those pitches. Those are pitches where he would check in every time. You know he's seeing the ball well when he doesn't even flinch. Ball outside. Looks like Lang's a little scared to pitch to him after his, back-to-back games with a home run. Durant this series, 3 for 9, a double, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Holy crap. And there is a double. At least a double. Line drive into the gap. Jaren Durant is going for 3. Easily. He dives into third base for a triple. So Durant continues his hot night. After hitting the go-ahead 2-run shot, he hits his first triple of the season. That lets you know how bad Jaren's doing. We're at the end of May, and the dude is just hitting his first triple. This is a man who's in the 90th percentile in terms of speed. So, good to see him clear that off the bucket list. Number 16, Jaren Durant starts the top of the 9th with a triple. And Masataka Yoshida swings and misses at a ball that was a ball from the very beginning. Dude, what is this man swinging at? But, you know what? I have faith in Masa. Masa, believe in Masa. Alright, now that's 2 pitches he swung at that don't look too good. Masataka, who's 1 for 4 on the day, who's hitting 261 on the year, is down no balls, 2 strikes. On the top of the 9th with Wilyer Abreu on deck. Alex Lang pitching for Kansas City, and Boston's up 4-3. Ball bounced away, but not enough for Jaren to go out to at least attempt to score. So Masa's down 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Boston's up 4-3, so they definitely need some insurance here. Again, Jaren Durant just hit a triple to lead off the 9th. And Yoshida lines the ball foul. So the count stays 1-2. No outs, top of the 9th, 4-3 for Boston. Alex Lang's 11 pitches in, but I believe he can be stretched out 2 or 3 innings. Nice job. And let me take my claps back. The infield was in. Masa hits the ground ball over to second base. Jaren Durant doesn't get an opportunity to score, so that he stays on third base. The score remains 4-3. Man on third, now with 1 out for Wilyer Abreu. Man, it seems like everybody has a hit tonight. Williers 1 for 4 tonight with a single in the 7th. He's hitting 293 on the year coming up to hit now. Come on. 1 ball, 1 strike. Change up down in the dirt. You get a leadoff triple, you have to score here. This has been a trend for Boston for I don't know how many years, but when you get a man in scoring position, especially with no outs, you have to score. These are the little things that matter. Foul ball. So that's 1 ball, 1 strikes for Wilyer Abreu in Kansas City tonight. And I know Chapman's in that bullpen, fingers crossed, because he would love some insurance. As my friends in the South say, insurance. If you play MLB The Show, you know that saying. And he takes a strike in the bottom inside zone. No challenge there. As although that was right on the corner, it was on the corner. 1 out. Boston needs this run big time. As Aroldis Chapman is looking on. Wilyer's hitting. You have Wilson Contreras on deck afterwards. And he strikes out. So after the leadoff triple, Alex Lang gets back-to-back outs. I take that back. That was strike 2. So Boston still has a chance for maybe a sac fly. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Wilyer Abreu. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, Jarren Duran led off the inning with a triple, so he's on third base. Masataka ended up hitting a ground ball while the infield was in. They got the out there without Duran scoring. Ooh. Willier giving almost Pablo Sandoval-esque swing. Makes contact on a curveball that was low from the beginning. Let's put it this way. It started off below the knees, and it ended up at the dirt. Cutter, changeup, fastball, cutter is the sequence that Lang used in this at-bat. And he ends up striking Willier Abreu out with a sinker on the bottom outside half of the plate. So again, Boston not being able to take advantage of runners in scoring position. Luckily enough, we have Wilson Contreras coming up. He's been clutch this year, so hopefully he can come through for Boston. Whoa, Wilson Contreras 3 for 4 tonight with a triple himself and 2 singles. This is after Jarren Duran led off the top of the 9th with a leadoff triple, and he couldn't. We haven't been able to do anything with it since. Contreras is hitting .290 on the year, 6 homers, no balls, 1 strike, and he swings at. What are we doing? Another reason why Boston is where they are today. The ball gets not even more than 10 feet past the catcher, and Jarren Duran tries to score. He doesn't even slide. The man hesitates. This is the exact reason why the Boston Red Sox front office has been hesitant on extending a man like Jarren Duran. You already got gifted with amazing speed. Why are you amazing? So the way the inning ends is Jarren Duran, while our most clutch hitter, our best hitter of the year, is up at bat. The ball ends up getting away from the catcher, not even 5 feet. Duran thinks he can score from third base. He doesn't even slide at home and gets tagged out by the pitcher, nonetheless. So Kansas City get out of the inning after letting go the leadoff triple. And we're going into the bottom of the 9th, 4-3 Boston Red Sox. Yeah, let's go ahead and check on the Yankees game. See how the Yankees are doing. And it's a pitching clinic. 0-0 on the top of the 5th in the Bronx. 1 out. Cam Schlittler's pitching for New York. Sanchez is up for Toronto. And if you guys don't know, Treya Savage is pitching for Toronto tonight. So again, for those of you just tuning in, Jarren Duran just very stupidly got caught stealing. Not from first to second, from third to home. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. If it wasn't for Boston trying to probably trade this man, Jarren Duran would have probably been benched. So Connolly went 6 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, 5 Ks. Boston in the bottom of the 9th, leading 4-3. Starling Marte leading off for Kansas City. Ball 1 at 95 miles an hour from Aroldis Chapman. So let's hope Boston can close it out here. Aroldis is 11 for 11 in save opportunities, has a 54 ERA, so he's competing to have a better season than last year. And Marte hits a pop-up over in between first and second. And Wilson Contreras drops the ball. Ball drops in. This is what I was talking about. Tonight feels like the exact type of night where an unstoppable Aroldis Chapman is going to give up a lead. So Marte with a lead, a bloop over the first baseman's head. Man on first base for Kansas City with no outs to lead off the bottom of the ninth. And let's see if we can get a double play here. Danny Jansen's coming in to hit. He's hitting 236 on the year. For those of you longtime Boston Red Sox fan, do you guys remember Danny Jansen? Honestly, he's not that bad of a catcher. I'm not saying he's starting caliber, but he's serviceable out there. So Jansen's hitting 236, 6 homers, 19 RBIs on the year. 734 OPS. But he's a lefty against a lefty, Aroldis Chapman. So let's see what we can do here. Man on first base, no outs. Again, Boston's leading 4-3, so we only have 1 run to work with here. 96 miles an hour for a ball high and in on Carter Jensen. Man, Aroldis needs to close this out, man. Another ball high and in. Man, if I call this here, he's giving me the feeling. I'm hoping he throws a splitter down and in. He swings at it. We get a double play. But we'll see. All right, he finally loops in what looks like a slider at the top of the zone. So it's 2 balls, 1 strike to Carter Jansen. Kansas City does have a man on first base after the bloop single from Starlin Marte. Aroldis is trying to close it out with the 1-run lead. 2-1 comes in and not even the... All right, so this is kind of scary here. He wasn't able to control the fastball. Then he threw in his first strike as a slider. And then he goes back to the slider. So that lets me know that he's having issues commanding his fastball. But the slider he just threw was also a ball. So he just tells me he has feels for none of his pitches today. Alrighty. 82 mile an hour slider. So 3 balls, 2 counts to Carter Jansen. So man on first base, full count. No outs. 4-3 Boston. Chapman comes in and he swung. He did it. All right. So Aroldis got the swing and miss. Strikeout. But the ball got past the catcher. So Starlin Marte advances to second base. So Kansas City now has a tying run at second and 1 out. But we did get the strikeout. I'll take it. We got the strikeout. I'm not mad at it. He definitely went. Oh, he definitely went. So while Boston's over here trying to close it out, you have New York and the Bronx taking on Toronto. Cam Schlittler versus Trey Savage. And Toronto actually has men on second and third. 2 balls, 2 strikes to George Springer with 2 outs as well. So maybe they can go ahead and score a run there. There's a meeting of the minds here in Kansas City as Andrew Bailey comes out to meet with Aroldis Chapman. Again, Boston's only up 1 run with the game-tying run at second. And a veteran in Marte who's certainly not going to get thrown out at third or home plate, Jarren Duran. Lane Thomas up to hit for Kansas City. He's hitting 212, 1 homer, 9 RBIs on the year. Man, I remember when he was first coming up with Washington. Lane Thomas was hot. A couple years later, and he's nothing but a bench bat. But he was hot when he got called up by Washington. So Aroldis starts the at-bat off with a fastball. No balls, 1 strike. And again, don't forget that man is on second. Changeup or splitter down in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Man, I don't know if you guys noticed this, watching, Aroldis Chapman pitch. But it's like the deeper he gets into innings, you can literally see the sweat get heavier and heavier on his neck. And the dude has almost a bowling ball neck, so it's very obvious. As Lane Thomas pops up to Wilyer Abreu. So Kansas City has 2 outs now, man on second base. Boston only needs 1 more out to get the win in Kansas City, Missouri. And Michael Franco's up to hit. He's 0 for 4 today, and he's also 0 for 3 in his career against Aroldis Chapman. But he is a big-time contact bat, so you have to be careful with him here. I actually believed that Kansas City is so invested in him, they signed him to like a 7-year contract before the season started. So Aroldis comes in with the first pitch. Fastball, which Michael Garcia fouls off. The fastball was out and away. So no balls, 1 strike to Michael Garcia. Starlin Marte's over at second base after his leadoff bloop single. He advanced over to second base after the wild pitch. Aroldis misses with a fastball low, 99 miles an hour. He's yet to hit 100 miles an hour. Now, I know that's not a prerequisite, but it's just weird not seeing him throw at least 1 pitch at 100. And the 1-1 is fouled off. So the count now goes over to 1-2. And the Boston Red Sox and Aroldis Chapman are now 1 strike away from the series win. If I'm him, I'm going with a slider. Hope that it backdoors him. Comes in right at his leg, at his back legs. Aroldis with the pitch. And another foul ball. See that sweat is just gleaming off of his neck, and it's just... it just gets more and more apparent as the inning goes on. So Michael Garcia grounds out to Caleb Durbin. Throw to Wilson Contreras. And the Red Sox win. So the Boston Red Sox win 4-3 after Jarren Duran in the 7th inning hits a go-ahead 2-run shot. Now again, Jarren Duran may have gotten thrown out at home plate to end the 9th inning, but the man was the key cog in today's game. He had the amazing play early in the game out in left field. You want to go catch the highlights on that. And then he hits a go-ahead 2-run shot, followed by a clutch performance by Craig Weissart out the bullpen, and then close out by Aroldis Chapman, who goes 12 for 12, perfect on the year in closing opportunities. So Boston now about 4 games out from 500. 1 game closer, guys. We still have a long ways to go. It's May 20th. We'll see what we can do. With Duran, with Durbin getting hot, with the return of Roman Anthony, with our starting pitchers continuing to put in work. I'm not saying we're going to compete for a deep postseason run, but man, we should at least have a decent summer. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This is Jahji here. Like I said, I cover Boston Red Sox games and New York Yankee games. I may even end up going live again tonight to go ahead and cover the rest of that Yankees and Blue Jays game. I also do daily uploads, reactions, WWE clips, MLB clips, music reactions. I do it all for you guys. I'm here to entertain you whenever you need some entertaining. So thank you so much. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You like, you subscribe, you share with a friend, have that friend share with a friend. And we'll be back at it. We'll be back at it. You guys have a great rest of your night. It's Jahji.